What's going on, everyone? It is Mr. Red, and I'm bringing you back another Streets of Rage video. This time we are going over my speedrun attempt with Floyd in the boss rush mode. And right now you're looking at a sub 16 minutes. The current speed running record for Floyd, at least from what I can tell, is somewhere around sub 13. So I got a little bit of work to do, but I want to put up this video just to kind of show an easier way to beat boss rush mode with Floyd. And I actually got this question on stream recently, asking is Floyd my main character? Is Floyd my favorite character in Streets of Rage? And I've been playing with Floyd a lot, like a lot recently. Mostly because I'm very interested in speedrunning this game more. But no, he's not my favorite. He's not my go-to person per se. He's just not one of the most challenging people to do the runs with, but he's got a different learning curve, so to speak, compared to the other characters, since a lot of his stuff is throw based versus the other characters are input based in terms of like enemy loopings and infinites that happen within the game. So he's gonna be the first character that I try to do a couple runs with. I'm gonna try to get a sub 13 eventually. I'm not too worried about doing it immediately, but I'm gonna get it over time, as well as beating the mania modes and normal modes, and trying to get those speedrunning records too as well. But anyway, in terms of actually assisting you in beating the run here, in case you haven't noticed, with Floyd there's two things that you can possibly do in order to defeat an opponent easily. Now I say easily in quotation marks because it's not necessarily an easy task, but it's easy in theory. The first is the punch loops. It's the 1, 2, 3 drag your fist loop, and the other one is the throw loop too as well, with the gotcha grab. It might be known as the gotcha loop, and it works with enemies, not so much with players, because players can run out of that. So the combo videos I put up is still valid, but in terms of actual enemies, this is the only word it's actually valid here. So it's literally a punch, gotcha, throw down twice, punch, throw down, blase. Now, in most circumstances, that would be an easy task. However, some of the bosses, as you see, like right now, have enemies that can crowd you, and in that case, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You can either try to save some time and go straight for the boss, or you can get rid of the enemies that pop up infinitely and clear some space for it. And there's really no right or wrong answer, due to the fact that everything is pretty much RNG. So you get what you get. Sometimes you get a good run with it, sometimes you don't get a lot of things happening. So I mean, you can see right now things are not necessarily working in my favor due to those guys just spawning over and over. But really, I mean, that's honestly the basis of this. You just want to master the 1, 2, 3 punch loop with Floyd. My timing still needs a little bit of work. I try to do rhythm in my head. I try to do counts, and sometimes I get it, and just sometimes I don't. Some of these bosses are too heavy to do the punch and grab loop, like the Commissioner, Estel, this boss here. She's also too heavy. But the lighter bosses, like those Cobra twins, the first Cobra lady, the last boss, the dominatrix person, Max is obviously too heavy. All he can do is punch loops. The faster time to beat Max, or just beat him easily and efficiently, is to just back punch him over and over, and that's just gonna yield a simpler result for you in the long run. But oh man, I was just getting torn up piece to piece. Like, I didn't really stand a chance. But Estel can be punch looped through her entire phase if you're good enough. You can punch entirely through her defenses and just keep punching. But if your timing is just even a millisecond off, she'll do that kick and then kick you through, and then you lose time. She calls the police. She starts snitching on you, and then She start calling her homeboys over, and next thing you know, they do the triple, the double, going for you. Barbin is just the same. You can punch loop him, and I believe, I'm not sure, I think you can grab loop him too as well, but the biker people come in. The things with his kicks, all you have to do is just move up and down. You don't have to frantic all over the place. You can just literally, as soon as he starts charging, his first kick loop is typically 1 or 2 kicks. You just move up, move down, keep it going. Very simple. When he goes into pissy boss mode, like I like to call it, you got 2 options. You can either use your super like I do, or alternatively speaking, you could, I mean, look at Garcia, man. Look at his face. You gotta hate that guy. I think no one likes him at all. Of all the enemies, he just runs up to you and stabs you, even though all you gotta do is just jump and kick him. But after his first initial kick, he's actually vulnerable. You can grab him during that state, or you can even just jump and kick and he'll just stop altogether. But it looks like I actually got him to a punch loop, and you can see right there, freaked out. Try not to look at his health bar when I'm doing a successful punch loop, because I start kind of phasing myself out, like I'm not gonna do this. This guy's another guy who sometimes he decides to get punch looped, and sometimes he decides to just randomly jump out. I had times that he just jumped out, like just right there. Nothing was wrong with my phase loop, just decided to do it. So he's really just random. Darn you, Shiva. How dare you have the same name as the Final Fantasy summon there. But he can get punch loop too as well. And even still, the weird thing about this character and this boss is, even though you might mess up, or you mess up the inputs and then he recovers, he will not go into pissy boss mode. He will just sit there. See, I messed up the loops, and he just sat there. He didn't instantly go into this. But this girl right here, she don't care. She will literally let you beat her up, and the second that you mess up an input, she's gonna say, yep, I'm gonna go ahead and snitch. I'm calling the commissioners on you. So it's just, this is another time lost right here. If you don't hit the loop successfully, or you run into her grenades, then yeah. In some cases, like here, I actually purposely let her break the grab, because I wasn't trying to grab her. I was trying to punch her to attempt to do the punch loops, and this is just time. It's just time's gone by, just wasting, you know. Oh man, this is not working in my favor. But the punch loops are in effect, and it's good to go. I mean, honestly, the key, this boss is not much different than her other form. The only thing different now, she just has those grenades that she throws up. She snitches and calls the commissioner out, and then next thing you know, you got the commissioner to deal with. And in most cases, it's easier to treat that boss. Yeah, I wasn't having that. It's easier to treat that boss as someone you want to loop around. So if the commissioner does come out, you want to try to just bundle those two together and punch loop them, and hopefully you just keep the punch loop going. Otherwise you're going to be in a world of trouble. Now these bosses are just a joke. This is like the recovery phase, and I wasn't really having too much luck at the beginning, but you can punch loop them, and you can grab loop them too as well. For whatever reason, I didn't go with the punch loop. I couldn't get them corralled together. But either or really honestly works. The grab loop is probably the easiest way to take these out confidently. But if you do mess up, then of course they'll just hop right out, and then they'll DM, which loses some time. If I switch between pissy boss mode and DM, don't mind me. DM is a phrase that's used in Kingdom Hearts, which I think it stands for like desperate measures, and then they go into their own version of pissy boss mode. But those are all time wasters, and they're not getting out of this loop once it starts. Now, back when I was talking about the other characters and how they're easier to, not easier, but just different, like Adam and Blaze have it really easy compared to Floyd. I think the speedrunning records for those two characters are like sub 9, like maybe 8:53 to be exact. And they have a loop where all you have to do is just hold the attack button, and they bounce off the wall over and over. And that's it. I think the only challenging boss is Max right here, because he's immune to any hit stun at all. That's why I was talking about hitting him with the back attacks frequently. But yeah, all they have to do is just use the bounce off the wall technique. And if you've been following along with the other bounce off the wall combo videos that I've been doing before, or the commentary I said, is that whenever you bounce an enemy off the wall, it does the most amount of damage versus just bouncing them up in the air and all that. So if you can bounce an enemy against the wall and they bounce back, you get an extra damage boost that is not scaled. I don't think there's any scalable damage, but it's a nice sized chunk of damage. But in terms of evading Max's moves, there's three things that go on within Max's combo attacks and all that. To start off with, he goes up and down during his attacks. When he does his little shoulder blitz thing, all you have to do is just go up and down. Same thing as like with Barvin, his head throbbing move, just, you know, attack out of it. Sometimes he'll do the jump kick, all you gotta do is just move up and down. And his spinning attack, just move away. Now this guy is a pain in the butt. I was trying to punch loop him, but I messed up the input at the very end. I was really hoping that I managed to hit him with a star attack, but then I realized I don't have any stars. So the other alternative strat is to throw the enemies at him to break his shield, so by the time you get there it's broken and you just hit him with a combo. If you do manage to drop him for whatever reason and his shield gets restored, you have a brief moment in which you can actually kill him. If you get him before he starts moving, he'll still receive damage. So that's something else also to consider too as well. And with this boss, he can get grab looped and he can get punch looped, but once he goes into his laughing fits, then it's pretty much over, unfortunately, because he's just gonna go running back and forth. Now he can throw his RPG at you, and he turns into Muhammad Ali because he starts wiggling his feet around. So punch looping is probably the safer bet. And I don't think I mentioned this before too as well. The punch and loop seems to have a little bit more, I don't know how to phrase this, but it's more in your favor than the grab loop. With the grab loop, there's a little bit more time that you can lose because they can DM out of it sometimes, and obviously that's a time wasted versus the punch loop. That seems to happen a lot less frequently. I'm able to take entire life bars away. So they'll just jump out of your throw loops randomly. And usually sometimes past the DM loop, even if your frame inputs are perfect. The grabbing mechanism is done by time clock. It's not done by the amount of hits that you do, but it's done by time. So you'll know when the time runs out when they start shaking, and that means they're trying to escape your throw. So like with Estel, you have maybe 4 seconds to do it. With this boss, you have 5 seconds. It all just varies depending on the boss and how heavy they are. But for the final boss area, this is it varies. Sometimes it's simple and sometimes it's not. You can kill either or boss, depending on how you want to go about it. If you kill the dude with the gun first, Mr. Y, in my opinion, it makes your life easier because all you have to do is just deal with his sister. That's all melee, but he will be all in your face. He'll keep shooting you from afar and you're screwed. But you can cheese this boss, and that's all that anyone will ever do is cheese this. All you have to do is just grab any melee weapon, the longer the better. You sit in the corner and you just whack, 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 over and over and over, and you will not die at any point in time. You just keep whacking them over and 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 over. If she gets close, you whack her and then you call it a day. Now, because it's so easy to do this, I have seen other people will actually kill Mrs. Y during this phase and just go through throw loops, or they'll just loop her in the corner, because there's not, if you're in that corner, the boss can't kill you. The only attack that can kill you is when he does a 3 stomp and he drags over to the side, but other than that, that's all that they really got. And the reason why you want to do melee is because it has the same input. The weapon can't get broken, and it does the same fixed amount of damage, and it's just easier. It does more damage over time than any combo, because the combo, as you know, after the end of the 4-hit phase or 5-hit phase, whatever character you're using, they have to reset back to the beginning point. But with melee, it's just literally a poke, over and over and over. And she's just gonna sit there, posed up with her legs crossed off to the side. You need a little thigh meat there at the same time, because we all love thighs. Some people like breast, I don't know. I'm talking about chicken. Anyway, that's it for the run. Pretty simple in theory. Hopefully that makes your life a little bit easier, even if you're not just trying to do a speed run of this, but just trying to defeat this mode with Floyd. There you have it. Sub 16 minutes, 15:51. Let me know if this video was helpful for you guys. If so, I'll go ahead and put up additional videos of me doing rushes with other characters. This is Mr. Red headed out. Hope you guys have a great day. Take it easy.